Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That one, that one. Right. Oh, all right. Hi, my name's Sam Cole, and today I'm going to be talking about Vietnam rice. The first thing you think about when you're talking about Vietnam is the Vietnam War, so that's obviously what I'm going to start with. It started in 1954 when the French uh, uh, gave custody of Vietnam to the North Vietnamese communism. Uh, During the Cold War, we had no tolerance to communism, and this is about when the Cold War was in full effect or at the end of it, and it was no tolerance. So we went to war and had a horrible time. The Vietnamese beat our crap. We had to withdraw in 1973, and by 1975, the North Vietnamese had taken all of Vietnam into their custody and in 2 years. It's the fourth highest casualty rate in all of American wars. We had close to 1 million civilian deaths and about 60,000 U.S. soldier casualties. This civilian death doesn't include aftermaths of the war, like starvation and like disease that we caused. That's what the next slide's going to show. Um, about Agent Orange caused about 900,000 deaths due to starvation by killing crops and by disease in their water supply. Um, Agent Orange is it's a herbicide with dioxide in it, and what it does is kill leaves and it takes all the moisture out, and the dioxide binds with the moisture in the water or whatever, and it disintegrates it, and it takes it away from the plant. And yeah, it's kind of bad for anybody that gets in it. And if it gets into a water supply, it can spread rapidly. And it's airborne and it's waterborne. So yeah, Vietnam has a lot of rivers, and all their crops are rice, and all rice crops are fed by rivers in Vietnam. So Agent Orange kind of killed all their crops real quick. Um, Napalm finished the job because when you take away moisture from plants, they become really dry. And napalm is a mixture of a gelling agent and gasoline or diesel. And when you throw napalm on dry plants, it kind of spreads quickly and you can't stop it. And so it burned everything from homes to forests to crops. And napalm's what killed a lot of people because you can't stop it. And if you don't see it coming, it can go close to 20 miles an hour. So if you can't run away from it, especially as the Vietnamese didn't have cars or anything like that, you can't exactly get away from it and you burn to death. It's horrible. Um, the Vietnam War caused such poverty just strictly because of um, like the war, obviously, but the crops that destroyed were their livelihoods. About a third, like you're going to see later, I'm not going to say that right this second, but Agent Orange got into the streams and killed almost every crop in Vietnam. It was horrible. Water treatments are ineffective against dioxide because it binds to the atoms or whatever, and no get off. It's almost harder than taking. It's a lot harder actually than taking the salt out of seawater. So it's actually more efficient to bring in water than try to dilute the water that they already have. Rice productions over a third of farm land, or no, over a third of their land is farmland in Vietnam, and all of that is rice paddies. Basically, about 95% of their farmland is rice paddies. Uh, they don't have a lot of resources due to the war, so they have to make do with what they have. And they have low production rates and bad markets because every single or 97% of farmers in Vietnam are local or like small business owners, basically. Um, and that's bad because due to fluctuations and stuff like that, and whatever, and as a communist thing, the government does their taxes and their price rates. So it's kind of bad for a small business because they have no bargaining power because they're selling in such small quantities comparatively to their like output. It's horrible. Um, as I said, they lack bargaining power because they're all small businesses selling to a government that's distributing their product. Uh, the demands for a higher quality of rice have changed. They were recently trying to swell for like a big quantity and just to get food out there. And people have finally got enough food in their bellies because the poverty's gone down a little bit and they need higher quality because they're getting sick from the low quality. Um, and the demand of rice has always been high, but since a recent urbanization and all that, it only goes up, and urbanization takes away from farmland, and they don't have the equipment needed to go for a large scale. Vietnam is the largest producer, or one of the largest producers of rice in the world. Um they have a hard time with anything like pollution and stuff like that. But the main problem is the fact that they're getting land taken away from the farmers, and it's taken away from their whatever, like I just said. But Vietnam rice challenges, recovery from the war, obviously, and pressure on land and resources. They don't have the ability to do crop rotations because all of it's already done. They're just planting rice, but they're trying to. The government's trying to give them the information to learn crop rotation. But the main thing they would be rotating is beans because it raises the pH for rice. It's like the best complement for rice. Uh, they lack modern equipment like tractors and modern like pulling equipment behind tractors because they're too heavy to pull by donkey. Um, since they're small businesses, they're all passed down from generation to generation. So all of them have a darnest time trying to get new information about how to farm. So the government's trying to help out with that. They like give them the information they needed to drive tractors and get any information they need because like it's like me going up and trying to talk about Jeff Bezos about business owning. It's horrible uh, comparatively because American farmers deal with like a little bitty section of land and they produce 6, 7 times as much. It's kind of they have an inefficient way of farming rice. Thank you. That will be all. Here's my reference slides. And let me get out of here.